Hey, it's John. Let's take some time and show you the process, start to finish, for loading an entire service in ProPresenter. So right now I'm remoted into the computer, but the steps will be exactly the same if you are sitting in front of the PC as well. All right, so the first thing you'll notice it's Sunday. We're a few hours before the first service, but Sunday we have two different playlists. We have the 9 o'clock and the 11 o'clock. Okay, each element they're pretty much the same. The only difference is that there's some songs that are different in between 9 and the 11. So there are some items that are going to stay the same every service. Mainly these 4 slides. So your countdown video, which plays a small countdown. There's an announcement video, which we switch out every week, the happy birthday slide, and then tithes and offering. So these items all stay the same. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull the new announcements video. The announcements video I have in my email, so we'll pull that up. Okay, and then the announcements video may make it to you in a number of ways. Sometimes email, sometimes Google Drive, but it's usually one of those ways. All right, so I've got the video downloaded. What I'm going to do now is this video that you're seeing play is our announcement video from the previous week. So we're going to go in and right-click here. We're actually going to stop this from playing, make sure that it's not slowing us down. So we're going to right-click here and choose Edit Slide. We're going to click on the previous announcements and hit the delete key on our keyboard. Or if you prefer, I believe you can right-click and delete it as well, but the easiest way is just to click it and then hit delete. So now it's gone. So I keep the word announcements there so that you know that this is the slide for announcements. Sometimes it doesn't always display properly. So then you'll go to your insert video. If you didn't catch that, there's a little icon right here for video. When you mouse over it, it says add video to slide. Usually your videos are going to save into your downloads folder automatically. So I click on that and then click select. Okay, there's the announcement slide. It may need to be sort of dragged around a little bit to make sure that it fits properly. So we'll just do that. And we're almost there. Okay. You can use the arrow keys if you click it, and you sort of use your arrow keys and position it just right. There we go. Okay, so announcements are ready. That's pretty quick. The next thing you'll see, if you're working down the playlist, you'll see that we have 3 songs for the 9 a.m. service and then the message at the end. So we reuse these playlists every week. So there's a couple of ways you can clear it out. My favorite way is to just kind of drag your mouse, and then it will select multiple at the same time. So we're just going to select all of them, except for the weekly announcements and the 5-minute countdown, and then hit delete. So now, if you scroll up and you look at our list, it just has the 4 slides here. The next thing I'll do is we're going to begin adding in the songs for praise and worship. Now, the songs for praise and worship can come in a variety of ways too. They can come via email. They can come via text message. Text message is most common, and that's what you obviously can't see that, but I have them up on my phone and I'm pulling them. So the first song for Sunday is Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. So the first thing you would do is you're going to search the library here. So you're going to go Leaning, and then you'll notice that a presentation appears. So this presentation is not really in the right format, but we can still work with this. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll take this one here and drop it down into our playlist so that we have it for this week. The next thing we're going to do is change the format of the slides, because these are a little bit hard to see. We have a standard format that we use, and I'll show you it in just a bit. So Another great way is just to use your mouse and kind of select all the slides. See how they all turn blue? You can then choose to right click. There's a template menu here which has a bunch of pre-made templates that makes everything look the same way. Then you go to lyric styles, and then you go to Helvetica full page. So you can see that it does a pretty good job of cleaning it up. The only thing is, and this is a somewhat nitpicky, but it can be visually distracting. If you notice that sometimes you have single words hanging out at the bottom of a line, it can be a little bit weird to and not look visually appealing. So what we'll do is we'll right click to edit the slide, and then we're just going to add these guys to their own line so that it looks a little bit better, and it's not as you don't have these little, I believe the term is orphans. So I'm just clicking, finding the areas and enter, and hitting enter to make them go away. Hitting backspace, hitting enter, and then hitting backspace and hitting enter, or delete on the keyboard. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so now the slides look a little bit cleaner. And what's cool is that we didn't have to type all those out because somebody else had already done it before us. We just needed to clean it up with a format change. Okay, second song is "'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus." So we'll find that in here. We're going to type it in. "'Tis so sweet." I think I might have seen it there. Let's see. "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus." Okay. So here's the song. This song is already in the right format. It has a slide up front to give it some color, which is great. And then we'll just drop this one down here. That one's already done. Next song is "I Surrender All." Now, one thing that I'll recommend is sometimes you'll see these songs in here multiple times, and you can see the date here. If this is 1/10/2021, if they are closer to current time, which 2021 is when I'm recording this, these videos will likely look more like the aesthetic that we're trying to drive here. Okay, so this one was 1/10/2021, so we'll just use this one, and this one's already done as well. Okay. The next thing we'll do, we're going to go back to the playlist itself, and we can, you notice that this one has a like a background. It's pretty nice for them all to have a background. So to give them all a background, you go up here to video image, and then there's a lot of different options here. You can, any one of these videos will go in the background. You can just drag and drop it on top of the first slide. So we'll just make this one here, and then once you click play, you'll see it up here on the left-hand side, and then as you flip through the songs, it keeps the first one until you go to this next one, and then it starts on that one. All right, let's do a different one. What about this one? It's a video or a still? Not sure. I think it's a still. Let's do this one. Okay, so we'll put this one in here. Okay. One thing to make sure when you're putting those in is that you don't choose, you have a decent amount of contrast so the text is easy to read. Okay, so for the 9 a.m. service, praise and worship is done. The next thing we'll do is we're going to go ahead and prepare the message. Now the message is going to come to you in a variety of ways as well. Sometimes it's a photograph of Bible verses. Sometimes it's in an email. I have it in an email today, so we'll go to my email and open that up. Okay, so we've got, as you can see, like I said, it's a variety. So we have a title, we have some verses, we have a few slides that, like this, for example, that are just going to have text on them, and so these items here are just going to go on a slide. We're basically going to build these out really slide by slide. Okay. So we'll start with the title, and highly recommend right-click, copy, right-click, paste. So copy and paste is going to be your friend here. So we're going to need a presentation for the video, or excuse me, for the message. So we're going to go to the new to create a new presentation, and we're going to name it message with today's date. And when you choose your template, my favorite template, and this is not, it doesn't have to always be this way, I just like using rectangle because I think it's nice and clean. It does a pretty good job. So we'll start with the title slide. We're going to click new, and then it puts us here with the title slide. Okay. So one thing to notice is that if there is a background playing, this will keep the background playing, which we really don't want. So this is sort of an advanced level trick. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, you can right-click, add a cue, and a cue is just something going on in the background. If you just put a clear all in, very simple. So whenever you click this, it just makes sure that nothing is going on in the background, which is it's really nice. Otherwise, you might have a busy background in the middle of your message, and you could always click the clear all button up here to make that go away. But don't recommend that. All right, so we're going to paste this in here, and you can see it says waiting is working, and it looks completely terrible because it's the wrong color, it's the wrong font, everything about it other than the words is wrong. So we're going to undo that. We're going to go edit, undo, paste, and this is what ProPresenter wants you to use whenever you paste something in. You right-click and you choose paste and match style. Okay, so now we have another problem. So even though the text is correct, it is way overspaced, and that's just the way that this template works. So what you can do is you can select all the text in here, and there's this little button over here on the right called A/V, and this allows you to space your letters out. And right now I think they're a little too spaced out, but you can take it and just sort of hit the down arrow until you like the way it looks. Pretty simple. You can make it smaller, and then you can make the text bigger if you want. And I also like having it centered. So you get something like that. It looks a little bit cleaner. Okay. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add another slide, but we're not going to add another title slide because the title slide's already in place. We are going to go to rectangle and then scripture. And then we'll get a new slide and it'll ask us what we want to type in there. So the next item you'll see here is that we've got Habakkuk 2 through 3. So this one is not actually included here, so we get to look this one up. So we're going to right-click, copy. We're going to open up a new tab in Safari because we don't want to lose our email where all of our information is. And what should work most of the time is just pasting right in here and then just hitting enter. Bible Gateway is usually the one that's going to pop up more than anything else. However, we have a special version of the Bible here. You'll notice that Jimmy included the ESV. So you have to make sure we click that before we grab the wrong verse. Now there are some Bibles built into ProPresenter, but Jimmy wasn't kind enough to use those today. So we're going to go find the ESV, and these are in alphabetical order, so I should be looking up a little higher. Go English Standard Version. And then click search, and then you'll get your version here. Okay, so we'll start with verse 2 and then go to 3. We'll right-click this, we'll choose copy, we go back to ProPresenter, you click in here, you right-click, paste and match style. That's important. All right. Now this one should center it when you click it, but it's still a little bit messy. So you can use the backspace and delete keys to sort of clean this up a bit. This one should really be on one slide. You can use these keys to. All right, and we'll just keep working through here. It's okay to keep verse 3 spread out a little bit. There's nothing wrong with breaking them out on the slide like that. Okay. All right, so this bottom area is for the verse. That's where you'll put the actual Bible verse. So you can drag this one up here to make room to add the Bible verse in here. So we're going to go back here. We're going to grab, you can usually grab right from here. Right-click, copy, back to ProPresenter. This is like it says, double-click. Oh, did that wrong. I moved it too much. I'm going to undo that. Right-click, paste and match style. Okay, and we could put ESV in there. People try to look it up in their Bible and wonder what's going on. That might help them a little bit. Okay, so there's our first verse and our first citation. So let's go to see what's next. Next we have Nehemiah 1, 3 through 4 ESV. So we'll right-click, choose copy. Go here, paste. We still have ESV selected, which is nice. And we have our verse here. So look, one thing that's kind of nice is an easy way to make sure that your format works for the next slide is you can just click on a slide and choose right-click, and you can copy and paste it if you want. So just choose copy and then right-click and choose paste. I should be able to. Or you can click on one, go to this menu up here for edit, and choose duplicate, and it just makes another copy of it for you too. Just make sure you stay on top of all the copies you have. It can get a little messy if you're not careful. All right, so let's grab the verses here. We're going to right-click those. We're going to choose copy. Go back to ProPresenter. We're going to select all the text in here, dragging from bottom to top, right-click, paste and match style. This one also kind of came out a little bit messy. There's a heading in here that says Nehemiah's prayer. We're going to delete that. And then we're going to delete this and delete this. So this one's pretty lengthy. And you'll notice that even though the words themselves are actually going down beneath this box, it will only show what's in this box. So this box is almost like a window. So there's some options. You can take this little guy and drag it down to make room for the whole scripture, or you can always, you can put the scripture on two different slides, whatever you feel is most appropriate. So we're going to go grab the verse for this one, which is Nehemiah 1, 3 through 4. Right-click, copy. And I'll keep our ESV in there, so we don't have to type that again. So we'll just select to the front, right-click, paste and match style. Okay. So there's the first one, there's the second one. There is the third one, which is a copy, and we're going to play with that one. So we'll go back to Safari. We'll try to. And then we'll look at our slides. This one is Nehemiah 1:11 ISV. So Jimmy included that one because that's probably not even an actual Bible. So we'll right-click that one. We'll go copy. That's a joke. Select all of this, right-click, paste and match style. Okay, pretty nice. It's pretty easy. And then we can go back and grab our citation. Copy. And a lot of these other ones here actually have the verses in, which is nice. It's not as easy as using the built-in Bible and ProPresenter, which I think I'll get a chance to show, because we have a... Unfortunately, I won't get to show. I mean, I could show it, but it doesn't really matter. It's we don't have any of those. The only versions of Bible that we have in ProPresenter, I'll show you them real quick, are New American Standard, King James, New International, and King James. They're actually in here twice. No, New King James. Okay, so we'll go back to this verse here. We'll select all of this. Right-click, And wait, I think I'm a little bit messed up. I think I have a citation in my clipboard. Let me paste that in instead. Got distracted. Right click, paste and match style. There we go, ISV. All right, so I'm going to click on this one. We're going to duplicate it again. So we have another nice fresh version of this to work with. And we just sort of keep moving along that way. So now we have another ESV. Right-click, copy. Right-click, paste, and match style. Okay, go back and grab our reference. Right-click, copy. If you want to select all the text in a box pretty quickly, if you can triple-click, it'll select all the text for you. Nobody talks about triple-clicking ever. It's pretty cool. So we'll duplicate, make another slide for us. Just so that you know, if you want an idea as to about, you can use these slides to estimate the duration of a presentation. Usually about 5 minutes per slide is a good way to estimate how long the speaker will be up on stage for. So something to prepare for. We have a lot of slides this week, so this is going to be a fun one. Okay, so we have Jesus increased in wisdom and stature, favor with God and man. Okay, so we're moving on to this one here, Matthew 4:9 ESV. And he said to them, "Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men." Right-click, copy. Might be able to make this a little bigger, so it's a little easier to see. Okay, and we're going to go right in here, select it all, right-click, paste and match style. And now we'll grab our reference. What I might do, just maybe to make it a little bit easier, is I might sort of resize the ProPresenter window to where I can see both of this at once, and that might make it a little easier. We'll try and get this done as quickly as possible. I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, so we're going to grab this. I'm going to switch over to keyboard shortcuts to make this a little bit quicker. So I'm going to start using like Control-C and Control-V. So if you wonder how I'm getting that on my clipboard, I'm just using keyboard shortcuts. Okay, so now our next slide. Oh, look at that, I did the wrong thing. Oh no, that was the right one. Yeah, that was the right one. I think I just did it in the wrong sequence. So you see how this says Luke 2 is here, and then Matthew. So we'll just drag these guys and put them in where they're supposed to go. Okay, so the next slide is it's just like a bullet point. It's like a point. It's not a verse. So we're going to go here. And I don't want to use that one. We're going to click on here to find a new part of rectangle, which will let us maybe a full page text, maybe. No, I think we'll keep the scripture quote reference. That should be work. And then here we're going to right click, paste and match style. And then don't usually want periods at the end of a point like that. So we'll select everything, make the size a little bit bigger for impact, maybe bold it. And maybe we'll center it. Okay. Now this double click to edit here, if that bothers you, like it does me, you can drag this up and make it go away. Or if you want an advanced tip here, you can click on these tabs here, and one of them that says Bible reference. It'll actually make it a little easier to select, and then you can just hit delete on your keyboard and it'll go away. Okay. All right, so here we are. We're back in. So So this is a long reference. So long references are done a little differently. So I'll show you how to do those. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this slide and drag it down to the right position. I don't want to drag both of them. I just want to drag one. Or I can drag this one up, whatever I need to. This is my copy I get to play with. So whenever you have a multiple reference slide, the first thing you want to do is you want to actually grab your citation first. And I'll show you why. That'll make sense soon, I promise. So we'll right-click, choose Copy. Paste and match style. So now we are going to select all of this all 5 of these verses at once. Okay? We're going to right-click them. We're going to choose Copy. And then we're going to click in here. And then we're going to hit Paste. That was a triple click. And then we're going to hit Paste and Match Style. So what this does now is it puts the everything in here. And obviously there's a bunch of the references that are actually hidden and you can't see them, but we're just going to use a keyboard shortcut to make it really easy to put the next one on its own slide. I'm not sure if there's a right-click option to do this. I don't think there is, but you're going to hold down Option and hit Enter. And you'll see that that's on the keyboard. It's near the space bar. You hold down Option on the Mac keyboard and then press Enter. What that does is that takes the text that you had before it and puts it on a previous slide, and then it takes and creates a new slide. So it'll make a little bit more sense once I'm done. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking right before the number of the slide. I'm holding down Option, hitting Enter, and then I'm continuing this process for the remaining slides. So you'll notice that it kept the reference intact. Okay. Then everywhere I hit Option Enter created a new slide with the rest of the text on there. And this one is a little busy, but it has enough room for both 4 and 5. So that one was pretty surprisingly quick. We didn't have to do them one by one. Okay. So this is a slide 2. This is going to take a little bit of formatting, but that's okay. We'll right-click it, choose Copy. We'll scroll down here. We're going to click on the plus, which I think is still at Bible reference, which is okay. We're going to click over here and get rid of the Bible reference. And then we're going to click in here, right-click, paste and match style. So this looks like we have to kind of assume the formatting. It looks to me that these guys should be listed out as steps. So step 1, enter. Step 2, enter. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Could be wrong, but that's okay. So we've got step 4. Remove these unnecessary ellipses. We got an extra space between 4 and 5 here. Okay, so this looks pretty clean now, right? I don't think we have a lot of room to make it much bigger. I think we have to leave this one pretty much as is. Okay. All right, so this one here is another, looks like another line item. So we can actually duplicate this because it's already in the right format. So we'll go File, Duplicate, Edit Duplicate. And we'll just select this, paste it in. Right-click, Copy. Right-click, Paste and Match Style. And we're going to do the same thing. Remove these extra, that was an accident. We're going to remove these ellipses. So we've got both of those slides are intact. We've got our steps, and we've got these 7 points on one slide. There are some periods here, some extra periods. I'm just going to get rid of those. Okay, looks clean. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do a final reference. Should be able to click plus to get the Bible reference, which we've had down there. Whenever you use a template, it saves it there for you, so it's ready for your next one. So we're going to go John 3:16 for the closer. Right-click, paste and match style. And now we're going to click here to get to the Bible reference, and then I should be able to just for fun, I'll just type this one in if it lets me. Doesn't really like that. So the way that this really works here is these are the different layers that are on the screen. So this shape element is actually describing this square here, the rectangle. The Bible reference is here, but the Bible text is on top. So if I take my Bible reference and I drag it to the top here, I should be able to select my Bible reference without selecting the text. So ignore the fact that that all turned white. It's still there. See? And just for fun, I'll type this one in. Okay. So that one's done. So the entire message for this morning is all done. So we're going to close this out. You can very quickly click on it and just make sure that all the slides are displaying. The reason I like rectangle, it has a nice little transition effect, so everything comes on the slide kind of smooth. Once you create your message slide, it'll actually add it here to the library, and it'll select it by default, but it won't put it in your playlist. This is a mistake I've made many times. If you drag, make sure you drag it, drop it into place, and now the 9 a.m. service is ready. Okay, so we're going to go through it and get the 11 o'clock next, and then we'll be totally done. So it's just like what we did for the 9 o'clock. We're going to go through and delete all of the songs and the message from the previous week. Make sure that the 5-minute countdown and the announcements are intact. We use the same playlist for both of these, so it's not going to it's going to be the same exact one. So you don't have to update the announcements for each playlist. We're going to add our 4 songs for the 11 o'clock service, and then we will use the same message that we created as well. Okay, so this song is called No Chains on Me. Okay, No Chains on Me. We have somewhat of a recent version of this song, which is good. So we just drag it down there, and it's already done. The next song is called The Lion and the Lamb. So we have this one also somewhat recently. Like we saw with the other one, this slide does have a couple of these little orphans here. If you know how the songs go, it can be nice to sort of make them work that way. So the song goes, every knee will bow, and then after that it sort of goes before him. So this sort of works. I'm going to try and keep your individual words not here. And if you have a single word at the bottom of a lyric, it's usually okay. All right, so just a couple edits to this one, make it nice and clean looking, and we'll go ahead and give it a background too. We'll do the backgrounds at the end. Okay, next song is called. What do we got? 1, 2, 3. Do we have King of My Heart? Okay, we have another recent version of this one here, and we actually have the same background used on 2 of these 3. So. Confirming the songs are No Chains on Me, The Lion and the Lamb, King of My Heart. Just a second. No chains on me. Okay, and I'm just going to confirm because the text message I got, which of course you can't see, says it's Chris Tomlin's version of No Chains on Me. So I'm just going to really quickly look those lyrics up. Sometimes a little research will go a long way. I think I spelled that wrong. I did. However, this is what matters. The lyrics are showing here. This is the dream, a dream for the world to see you, and then it's right over here, a dream for the world to know you. So we have it. It's correct. So now we can close out your email. We're getting close to being done. I'm going to go back to the Sunday at 9 o'clock service, and I'm going to take my message that I put in there, and I'm going to put it in the 11 o'clock service, and it should put it in there right at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and make everything here the right size again. Drag this out to the right. Okay, so we'll everything is a little bit large. If you don't like the size of this, you want to make it a little bit larger or smaller, you can use this little guy here, which I like. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice is that two of these slides, we actually had the same visual background in, which is not really good manners. So we're going to remove this one from King of My Heart, but you just click on the title, you right click, you choose Remove Cue. Very easy. And then you can add a new one in whenever you want. So we're going to do that next. We're going to go back to video image. There's a lot of different videos here. You can just sort of play through and you can play around. There's lots. So you can decide which one you think you want. This one is kind of cool looking. This one is neat looking, but doesn't really have the right type of contrast. Let's try this one on top of here. So this one should work. Okay. Give this one Pink Diamond Tunnel. Okay, that's pretty cool. Maybe we'll put that one here on King of My Heart. Maybe we won't. Let's see what else we have. Vintage fireworks, not really appropriate. We have candles, not really appropriate. All right, let's just do this one. It looks cool. We'll put this one in place. And then you can go back to the 5-minute countdown and you can confirm, just sort of scroll through and make sure everything looks proper. You've got your 3 songs. I thought we had 4, we only had 3 songs, and you got your message at the end. And now all you have to do is wait for any last-minute additions, but other than that, you're good. You can text Jimmy and let him know that the slides are in place, and you're ready for the service.